It's Wednesday, April 22nd. Happy Earth Day. Here's what we're working on this morning. Mexico is boosting security at tourist sites after a shooting that killed a Canadian woman.
I'm Emily Huang reporting live from Bayfront Park, where cherry blossoms are now in bloom. More on that coming up.
Here's J.J. Moser shooting, scores! J.J. Moser!
And the Montreal Canadiens and Tampa Bay Lightning battle it out in overtime again.
Thanks so much for joining us today. As we mentioned, it is Earth Day today, and thankfully it's going to be warm enough in our area to get outside and enjoy the outdoors.
Oh yeah, definitely. Today's temperature is going to be above seasonal. Seasonal's now 14. Yesterday, actually, we got above our forecast high.
Yeah, it was quite nice out, actually, in the afternoon.
Yeah, lovely. The sun has some strength now, so it's really pushing that temperature. So we got to 15 yesterday. Today, we should hit 18 degrees. So it's going to be a lovely spring day with lots of sunshine, just a little bit of cloud cover, pretty light winds. Keep in mind, high UV index in that sun. The sun has some strength now. But yeah, 18 degrees for the day today. We'll have more sun for tomorrow. It'll be a touch cooler, but only a touch. Still temperatures around seasonal. So a couple of pretty nice days coming up. We'll talk about all the details on that in a few minutes. Traffic is moving nicely. We have nothing to see right now. There's still some lingering construction in some areas, but generally it's coming to an end. So nothing to see at that exclusive camera, 403 Waterdown Road area. To some MTO traffic cameras, there's pretty good traveling conditions all the way through the Niagara Peninsula. As we go to the MTO traffic camera at Grays Road, looks good here. So Toronto-bound lanes heading away from us toward the Skyway. Base of the Skyway is pretty light. Generally, that's how the traffic is this morning. So not a lot going on. Take it carefully. Weather and traffic as usual in a few minutes. Right now, the news.
Okay, thanks very much, Brian. Mexico is boosting security at tourist sites across the country ahead of the World Cup this summer. The move comes after a deadly shooting on Monday that killed a Canadian tourist. The Mexican government says the shooting at the Teotihuacan pyramids was planned and that the gunman had notes on the 1999 Columbine high school shooting. The identity of the Canadian woman killed has not been officially released. Another Canadian is among 13 people injured in the shooting. The gunman died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Our hearts go out to the family and friends of the individual who was tragically killed. It's a terrible circumstance. I very much appreciate President Sheinbaum's personal attention to the matter, and we're working with Mexican authorities on the situation, but it's a sad day.
And Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand has spoken with her Mexican counterpart.
A coroner's jury into the death of an Indigenous woman in a St. Catharines hospital waiting room has heard a sharp disagreement. It's whether the death of 24-year-old Heather Winterstein should be classified as a homicide. In December of 2021, she was sent home with Tylenol for back pain and returned the next day where she collapsed. Doctors determined Winterstein died of sepsis. A lawyer for the inquest, Vivian Sims, says evidence shows bias and discrimination led to Heather being ignored by health professionals. Niagara police and paramedics disagree, calling on the jury to make a finding of natural death. The coroner has told the jury their job is to determine the facts with no finding of legal responsibility, professional negligence, or liability.
There are now 20 confirmed cases of salmonella linked to a restaurant in Upper Stony Creek. Piper Arms, Stony Creek, on Stone Church Road East near the Upper Red Hill Valley Parkway, has been temporarily closed since April 13th. An update from Hamilton Public Health adds that there are 57 probable cases also under investigation. The health unit says no specific food item has been confirmed as the source of the illness and, quote, no specific deficiencies requiring corrective action have been identified.
A senior government source says Marineland has asked the federal government for a loan. The source says it's a, quote, low 8-figure loan to transport the remaining beluga whales at the now closed Niagara Falls Park. It would be repayable after the sale of Marineland, if anything is left. A rep for the Marineland estate also reached out to CHCH News last night, saying it isn't denying it's in discussions regarding financial support. They add the park is in active consultation with the Department of Fisheries and Oceans, and the logistical and financial requirements for transporting 30 whales are significant.
A heads up if you live along a trail in Halton region. A hidden surveillance camera has been discovered in a Milton neighborhood, pointed at houses backing onto wooded areas. Halton police warn the camera may have been used to show thieves when homes are empty. Late last year, they saw a significant spike in break-ins at homes in Milton and Oakville that bordered ravines and trails. They released this video showing a team of men using the trails as a quick getaway.
A new poll suggests a split when it comes to a proposed high-speed rail line between Toronto and Quebec City. Probe Research found 61% of the 1,300 respondents supported the project, while 19% opposed it to some degree. The project is projected to cost between $60 billion and $90 billion, and construction of the first phase linking Montreal and Ottawa is set to kick off in 2029 or 2030.
U.S. talk show host Tucker Carlson has apologized for misleading people and encouraging them to vote for Donald Trump. In a podcast, he says he'll be tormented by it for a long time. Lately, Carlson has been a critic of U.S. support for Israel, but says the war in Iran has cemented his break with Trump. Earlier this month, the U.S. president posted a message critical of Carlson, Megyn Kelly, and Alex Jones and others, saying, quote, "They're nut jobs, troublemakers." If you use the Shidok stairs in Hamilton for exercise or as part of your commute, a heads up. The Shidok steps will be closed next week from Monday morning at 9 until Thursday morning at 7. This is for maintenance work. The set of stairs climb the escarpment from the Shidok Golf Course Clubhouse to the West Mountain. And if you're counting, there are 289 of those steps. All the April showers we've had have brought a lot of flowers, with cherry blossoms now in bloom. Emily Wong joins us now from Hamilton's Bayfront Park, where the blossoms are bursting.
And then the buds just behind me are dying to bloom. Typically, cherry blossom season starts late April and goes up through till early May. The trees that you see behind me at Bayfront Park were donated to the city of Hamilton from Japan back in 2002 as a gesture of goodwill. Now, what you're seeing on the screen now is what this park will look like when the cherry blossoms are in peak bloom, which this year is predicted to be between April 25th and May 3rd. Now, that's on the longer side considering the length of a typical sakura peak bloom, which is thanks to the cooler temperatures we're seeing this year.
With the forecast that we're looking at, there's probably some good holding power of, not too hot, not too cold for the next couple of weeks. So we should have good amount of blooms over the next couple of weeks.
There are plenty of areas where you can take in the blossoms around the Golden Horseshoe, including here at Bayfront Park, Gage Park, Centennial Park, Spencer Smith Park, as well as Royal Botanical Garden locations in Burlington and Niagara Parks. Now, in Japanese culture, the admiring of transient flowers is known as hanami. And as you might know, the Japanese take hanami very seriously. So if you are visiting any of the locations to take in the blooms, it is a reminder to make sure to note that the cherry blossom trees are very fragile, and to make sure you don't touch the trees, shake them, or break any of the branches. For now, Annette, back to you.
Okay, thanks very much. Well, the horse that a police officer in New York City used to chase down a suspected purse snatcher last week was actually a rescue horse.
Stop! Please stop!
This chase video went viral. The horse in it was rescued from slaughter 6 years ago. A rescue organization says about 6 months after rehabbing the horse, named Kelly, he was linked up with the NYPD mounted unit. Their Standard Bred Retirement Foundation, which is based in New Jersey, rescues anywhere from 300 to 800 horses a year.
Game 1 of the Canadiens Lightning NHL playoff series was settled in overtime, and Game 2 was no different.
Montreal won 61% of the draws game 1. Tampa Bay 51% of the draws in game 2. And a big one there by Cirelli. Here's J.J. Moser shooting, scores! J.J. Moser with his first. And the Lightning have tied the series.
J.J. Moser scored in OT to give Tampa Bay a 3-2 win over Montreal, tying their first-round series at a game apiece. Tampa's Brandon Hagel had a Gordie Howe hat-trick with a goal, assist, and a fight, and Nikita Kucherov also scored for the Bolts, who had lost 4 straight home playoff games dating back to the 2022 Stanley Cup Final. Tampa also had lost their last 7 overtime games in the postseason. Lane Hudson and Josh Anderson scored for the Habs, who will host Game 3 on Friday night.
The Bruins evacuate the zone with Pasternak touching for Geekie. Oh, he scored! Whoa! It went past Lukin and they score! A harmless chip from center, and it's 2-0 Boston.
Oh, what a crazy goal that was. Boston racing out to a 4-0 lead, including Morgan Geekie's flip-in goal from center ice as Boston bumped off Buffalo 4-2 to even their series at 1. Victor Arvidsson scored twice, and David Pasternak had 2 assists to tie the great Bobby Orr for 8th on the Bruins playoff points list with 92. Bowen Byram and Peyton Krebs scored 74 seconds apart late in the third period, but Buffalo could not pull off a repeat of their Game 1 comeback. Allison Simpson scored in overtime as New York blanked the Scepters 1-0. Now, despite the win, the Sirens were eliminated from playoff contention. Toronto will be eliminated if Ottawa beats Boston tonight in regulation time. Hamilton's Sarah Nurse scored in Vancouver's 4-3 win over Montreal. Oklahoma City's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been named the NBA's Clutch Player of the Year. The Hamilton Hoops megastar led the league with 175 total clutch points and 6.5 points per game in clutch time, which are games within 5 points in the final 5 minutes. SGA also made an NBA leading 16 go-ahead field goals in clutch time, and OKC went 20-7 in clutch games he played. The Blue Jays have won their first series since opening weekend.
Drills this ball to right center field. Off the wall. Here comes Clement. Guerrero is on his way home. Safe. And it's 3-1.
Lenyn Sosa had a pinch hit 2-run double in a 3-run 8th inning to lead Toronto to a 4-2 win over the Angels in L.A. Reliever Louis Varland needed only 1 pitch to bail out struggling closer Jeff Hoffman by inducing a game-ending double play with the bases loaded. The final out was confirmed after a lengthy video review. The Jays have won 3 games in a row and will go for this series sweep this afternoon. It's a mechanical issue with their charter plane forced the Jays to take a bus from Phoenix to Los Angeles on Sunday night. Manager John Schneider says they had 2 options: wait a few hours for a new plane to arrive from Vancouver, or take a 6-hour bus ride from Phoenix to L.A. Max Scherzer wanted to wait for the plane, but the majority voted to get on the bus. So the team unloaded luggage and food from the charter plane and loaded it onto 3 buses, and they were on their way.
Yep, on our way into this Wednesday morning, 22nd of April. Sun is getting close to being up, seeing some light in the sky there. Let's have a quick check on traffic here at 13 after 6. Doing fine. No problems on the 403 at Waterdown Road, so that's doing all right. We'll check some MTOs. We'll go into St. Catharines at the QEW in the 405. Usually light volume this time of the morning, and oh yeah, that's the way it is. Same with Grays Road. Nothing's changed there. 403 Junction at Brand Street looks good. Same with Royal Windsor through Oakville. QEW 427, Gardner, no problems as you head through Mississauga toward Toronto. Temperature this morning, we are above what we were yesterday morning when we were -1. This morning we're sitting at +3, so we'll take that, and that's a seasonal overnight low for this time of year. Skies are mainly clear. The winds are shifting a bit now. We had a weak cold front go through yesterday late in the day, and that gave us some northerly winds, but this morning they're now shifting back to the west-southwest, but they're very light at about 4. For school today, 18 degrees today for Earth Day. Going to be a lovely day, lovely sunshine, high UV index, and light breezes for the day today. So low pressure system going by us shifted around the winds just a little bit, but we'll see the return of that west to southwest breeze for the day today, and it's going to be a lovely day in the sunshine. Ridge of high pressure will give us some sun between the warm front that's going to be coming. So today, temperatures 17, 18, even 20 for Cayuga, Simcoe, and Brantford. Just a little bit of cloud cover, but a mainly sunny sky. Tonight, skies clear. Temperatures fall to around 3 to 4 degrees, much like this last night, this morning, just +1 for Guelph and Kitchener. And tomorrow, just a touch cooler, but still a lovely day. Sunshine, blue skies, temperatures 14 to 16 to 18 for the day tomorrow. So another great day. So as you step out the door, 22nd of April, Earth Day today, it is mainly clear. The winds are light. The temperature right now, 3. Long range in a few minutes. Annette, Rick.
Okay, after the break, we are going to say good morning to Emily Vukovic. She has a preview of what's to come in Chit Chat. And in business, how much should fuel costs figure in your plans for a new vehicle? .617, time to check in with Emily for a preview of Chit Chat.
Hi, good morning, guys. Zach Galifianakis is bringing humor to gardening in a Netflix series that premieres today on Earth Day. And I know we've talked about it before and we showed a little bit of the trailer, but I'm going to show you a little bit more just so we can laugh a little more.
Okay. It's just him sitting in a garden. It's so funny.
It's so good.
Not between two ferns.
Not at all, but like between two pieces of kale. Yeah. Okay, Madonna is asking the public for help after her Coachella performance. And coming up later on this morning, the first trailer for Citadel Season 2 has dropped, and we'll be diving into the pulse-pounding spy thriller. Pulse pounding is what I meant to say. Pulse pounding spy thriller.
It's okay. You've got crazy glue all over your hands.
I do. Grade 8 science, I tell you, man. I got crazy glue all over my fingers.
Thanks, Emily.
Okay, checking the markets right now, the Canadian dollar has ticked up a little bit to 73.29 cents U.S. Gold is up another $58, and crude is down 26 cents to $89.94 a barrel. Midday trading in Europe, London, Frankfurt, and Paris, all pretty flat this hour.
Asian markets were mixed today, with Tokyo down 236 points. North American markets closed down across the board yesterday, the TSX dropping 551 points.
Experts say if you're in the market for a new vehicle, you should factor in the rising fuel costs into your budget. A Canadian Automobile Association spokesperson says about a third of the cost of having a vehicle goes towards gas. Ratehub.ca shows Canadians are now paying an average of $231 a month on fuel. That's about 40% higher than before the conflict in the Middle East drove oil prices and thereby gas prices up. Since then, the average monthly cost of having a vehicle in Canada, whether you lease or own, has climbed from $1,300 to over $1,400.
The Canadian service that provides direct coverage of political events, CPAC, is canceling 2 flagship programs and laying off about a dozen staff, citing declining revenues. Primetime Politics and L'Essentiel are both being cut. The network says an uncertain broadcasting landscape and delays in modernizing its systems also played a role. The move comes shortly after the federal broadcast regulator increased CPAC's funding. President and CEO Krista Dickinson says the added funding is still not enough to cover the shortfall.
Some Canadian exporters could be in for refunds after a U.S. court struck down U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs as being unconstitutional. The Canadian Federation of Independent Business says about a third of Canadian exporters face levies on goods that didn't qualify for an exemption under the Canada-U.S.-Mexico trade agreement. The Federation says about a quarter of those firms were importers of record, which could now qualify them for a rebate.
Grocers in Canada's far north are getting a double dose of pricing pain amid the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. The ripple effect on surging energy prices is forcing grocers in places like Nunavut, Yukon, and the Northwest Territories to deal with surcharges from suppliers and rising freight costs. Officials with the Northwest Company, which operates 165 general stores across the north, say in some cases there's been a surcharge of 20 to 50 cents per pound on air freight. It adds anywhere from $2 to $5 on a 4-liter jug of milk.
Okay, we're taking a quick break right now. Brian is going to be back with traffic and your 7-day forecast.
Time check 6:24. It's Wednesday morning, 22nd of April, and we have no problems on the roads. But I'll show you some MTO traffic cameras. QEW in the 406 looks good in St. Catharines, south end of the Skyway, all the way through east of 4th. So you're coming out of Burlington toward Oakville towards us, so no problems there. Erin Mills Parkway is very light. Same with the 403 going through Mississauga. That's the camera just east of Mississauga Road. So temperatures right now, Hamilton, well, we're struggling a little bit, but still that's better than yesterday. We're sitting at +3 this morning. 4 Mississauga, Toronto, 6 into Grimsby. And 6:25 now. We are a minute away from sunrise. 6:26 is sunrise this morning, goes down at 8:10. 14 is a seasonal daytime high and 3 an overnight low, and we beat that 14 yesterday. We got to 15, and those are our records for today. We will see lovely sunshine today. It'll be a mainly sunny sky by first bell at 9. Should be 7 degrees, and then 18 for after school in the sun. So for Earth Day, just a beautiful day. 18 degrees today. 4 overnight tonight. Skies will be clear. Tomorrow, still gorgeous, 14 seasonal, and lovely sunshine. Temperature comes down a little bit for Friday. We get chance of a shower. Cool on Saturday. High of only 8 with chance of showers, and then temperatures bump up for Sunday into Monday. Back into some sun. That's your forecast. Annette, Rick.
Okay, there has been a 1 in a million occurrence at a farm in Vermont.
A ewe at the farm this month delivered 6 lambs. The farm's owner says it was definitely a surprise. Look at them, because the veterinarian predicted twins for the mother. She had delivered 4 before, so that wasn't out of the norm. But then a 5th and then a 6th arrived. The siblings are 4 females and 2 males. The farm's owner's 5-year-old son has been taken to feeding the little lambs. Next up for the farm is naming the new animals. Look at those little cutie patooties.
Little lambs are so cute.
I think one should be named Rick, and Brian, and Annette, and Emily.
Oh, there we go.
Simone, and the extra one that can name whatever. Bill. Wow, they are so cute. My gosh.
Well, Emily, if you're watching, I think these are cuter than baby goats. Yeah, I think so.
I think you're right, especially with little shirts. What a way to celebrate Earth Day as well. All right, stay with us. More to come here on Morning Live. Good morning.